Oh.
Okay, everybody, we are live. Thank you. Welcome to the Eureka Springs CAPC Workshop. I'm Steve Hollifield, Chair. This is a workshop, not a meeting. We won't make motions or making decisions today, and we don't have to do roll call. Hello. So we'll get right into it. Our agenda is very short with one word, budget. So we're going to give it right over to Ty. He's leading the show today.
All right, just give you an overview of it. The first two columns show the actual numbers to budget numbers as of August. That is not complete August numbers. It's not done. It's not reconciled. But I wanted to give you the latest numbers that I had. The next two columns show the total 25 budget and then the proposed 2026 budget. The next column shows the percent change from the budget of 25 to 26. And then the last column shows for the expense accounts their percent of total expenses. We're proposing for 26 to have total collections of $2 million with a total income of $2.3 million and total expenses of the same, so a balanced budget. The biggest changes that we had were we're toying with the idea of doing some shows in the odd ourselves. And so that's why the in-house ticket sales income went up dramatically, because we're toying with the idea of doing that, producing our own shows. And so the corresponding odd expenses in the odd category went up also to account for those shows doing in-house. And then we reduced, to make the balanced budget, we reduced Madden by quite a bit and increased some of the other in-house marketing expense accounts to compensate for that decrease from Madden. So those were the biggest changes. We can discuss those or go line by line or however you want to proceed.
How do you want to do it?
I'm sorry, what?
You want to go line by line or just?
I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
All right.
So should we look at the overall budget though? Last year, we went into the year with how much money in the bank? Do you remember?
Do we begin the year? Is that how much? I can look it up.
It's like 1.8 or something like that.
End of December, we had 1.974.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
1.974 million in the bank.
What do we have now?
About 1.6.
Okay.
And that number is not going to go back up again, is it?
Probably not.
Probably not. So we're down.
Just have to see how the rest of the year goes.
Yeah, no. So I just want people to keep in mind as we go, we're basically $300,000 down more than what we spent in our budget, because this is money we pulled out of the bank and spent.
Yeah, we planned on having that negative this year. So
Yeah, that's what we planned out of it. Still,
Yeah.
we're definitely not working anywhere near a balanced budget. So
I mean, for me, I ran, and I won't dive into this, it's just to kind of keep my thoughts straight. I ran a stress test, and the TLDR is, I think that the 2026 budget positions us for growth if the economy and tourism cooperate, but it exposes us to six-figure deficits if the assumptions are too ambitious. And so depending on shortfalls, I mean, even a 10% shortfall puts us at a $200,000 deficit. However, there's a lot of opportunities if growth holds. So I think that after we go through this budget, it's really also a matter of risk and what we think 2026 is going to look like, remembering that we might be entering into a very volatile midterm election.
Yeah, we did propose collections down 100,000, so we went from 2.1 to 2 million on collections.
I saw that.
generally, what is tourism is down? Can you just stick a figure to it? like a percentage
You mean across the board?
for us? I know nationally it's down as well, but for us particularly, 4% or something
A
like
little
that?
bit of optimism here, and it goes back to what we saw with Air DNA going into October and November. That scaling and the pacing for VRBOs and Airbnbs is up 14% in October, and similarly in November, and then already it's pacing higher in the end of the year in December than it was in 2024. So the numbers are pacing up just in those two categories of lodging. And then, you have to surmise that if people are lodging here, they're going to eat here. So it may balance out. But on the same token, we haven't done the comparison on the other cities either at this point, but we will. But we were concerned about, the last quarter of the year, and optimistically it looks good. But then again, time will tell.
So is there projections on how the economy is going to go next year? Any officially, or is it just still guessing?
Everybody's holding their breath.
Do it?
Everybody is holding their breath. The other DMOs that Madden works with, and we've talked with Madden about this, are in kind of similar situations of understanding that they are not preparing for any big windfalls, any big gains. And I think that, again, as Heather just indicated, we're coming into a volatile year in 26, and politics will play, some role in it. We don't know. But if the trend holds, it could become disconcerting. So, hence, the National Guard is now officially in Arkansas. So.
I would probably emphasize for this year, last year we were clear at the point that we're going to spend some money and we're going to have a negative budget because we were aware that this year is going to be difficult to project. And on the other side, we wanted to counter-steer and use that kind of money. We have reserves for the bad years. So we don't really have to, jump with our advertising from 200% to 50%, and then next year we have money to spend more. So I think we did this year okay that we used some money from the savings.
Right.
Of course, for next year, I'm with the budget creator that we probably should aim for a balanced budget.
So can I interrupt you a second and ask, Ty, in this budget that you're proposing, is it going to eat into this 1.6 that we have in the bank?
It should balance. It should not. We've
Okay.
got it to zero. So.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Robert.
That's
kind of the point
what
to
I
make.
saw here. Like it should be balanced. I just would have. I probably would be a little bit more conservative, even with the income. I don't know how we can. Do we have clear information that we can go from $40,000 in-house ticket sales to 160? That a 4 times increase. Is that we kind of have something in petto that we know that we're going to be there?
Well, I've got an analysis on that, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, let's go
question.
item to item now. I just wanted more the general kind of strokes of going. Are we losing money? Are we eating up our savings? What do we need to do? And that's our decision to make. So, okay.
I'm going to start with the collections. Like I said, we reduced the budget by $100,000 from last year. Not sure how next year's going to go.
Are you on this worksheet in here, or?
I'm on. It's on the screen too, but
Oh, it's on the screen. Okay.
You should be on page
Was that
income on tax remittances, line 4005.
the next line is odd rental fee. We left that the same. Concession sales are the same. The in-house tickets, we have a plan to potentially do our own shows, and that's what we estimate the ticket income to be.
So Ty, question. What kind of shows will we bring in that warrant $120,000 increase?
Want to address that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Well, during the course of the year, if we can produce 8 shows, and each show averaging somewhere in the vicinity of about a $20,000 artist fee, and we're lapping on top of that our tech, our security, our ushers, and all those auxiliary fees, if we sell 400 tickets at $50 on average, that's going to raise that up incrementally. So that's kind of the projection that we've looked at is based on 8 shows, and each one generating somewhere in the vicinity of basically about $40,000 in income. So that hopefully, or I should say 20,000 in income times 8, is going to give us the latitude to be able to do that. And we wouldn't start those until probably March or April of the year. And if we can do 8 shows, not counting a show that could come in from Little Wing or another promoter, then there's a pretty good optimism that we could do that.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Are these all concerts or other kinds of acts?
probably so. There may be an exception to, for instance, the Wizards of Winter, which is going to come here on Black Friday. That's a different kind of show. It's a big production, but it's a concert music show, yeah. So we're looking for brand name artists, and we probably would go across, multiple genres and trying to select those types of artists. So
Like Madonna?
I couldn't say who it is.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Can we get people that my age know actually who that is?
Are they still alive?
98% of the acts that we've had here, I've had no idea who they are.
It may just be a sign of age, David. Moving on.
Well, we're doing a pretty, I wouldn't call it a sophisticated analysis, but we're doing a fairly comprehensive analysis of looking for those entertainers that their average gross is something that we could live with, but also they're performing with decent-sized crowds and all those things. That's the benefit of us having Polestar. And then we cross-reference that back to just the individual artists, who they are, and their fan base. And, when somebody's reaching 150, 200,000 fans, that's a good indication. They've got, 50,000, maybe not so much. But, we've got a couple scoring attributes that we can use to go ahead and pull those numbers. And we've got a pretty good list going right now. So.
On the counter account to the 4022, would that be the 6079?
It's going to be the 6043 was increased because of that in the odd category.
Let's see, 5043.
6043 was increased.
No, that's Christmas event.
Under odd.
Odd contract labor, local events, 6043.
Where am I at?
It's on page 2.
So what is the difference between?
Here.
These
So we're,
pages that I gave you, they're printed out here. One is our referencing the yellow lines on Madden we'll talk about. The last 2 pages that are printed out, these are the breakouts of how we would get to the concert status.
Yeah, 6043 was increased. 6078, the event rider was increased. 6079, the event talent was increased. And 6086, the promo material to promote the show was increased.
for me, it's like the question if we increase 300%, we're expecting in the auditorium income for the in-house sales by 300%. How much do we spend to get the 160,000? That would be the question.
$138,500.
Yeah, that's here.
Okay.
So we're up 20,000 then? Is that roughly?
So we're expecting a little bit over 20,000 to gain, huh?
Yes. Calculated the tech, the ushers, the security, the advertising, the ticketing services, the auditorium parking, the auditorium riders, and the auditorium contract labor. Total cost $138,500. You've got that on your sheet here.
Have we anticipated how much collections we'll make from these additional concerts with people in town for those days?
No, not yet. I mean, it's hard to say what's going to fill up the lodging and the restaurants. We assume that by having a pragmatic schedule of concert events, this would be a big help to do those. Right now, we're very irregular in terms of these promotions. So, the theory being is every month we have something that is
People know
calculated.
something is at the odd every month. Okay.
Right.
Next.
Okay.
What line is next?
The ticket sales.
The Folk Fest ticket
Fest.
sales, I took that down a little bit based on this year. ESMA's going to be doing their own thing this year. It's going to be separate from us, so they will get that ticket income. Group sales income, I left that, I took that down because that was going to be 2 FAM tours, and I took it down to 1 FAM tour, but I'm not sure. We'll have to have the discussion with Jana. I'm not even sure if that needs to be in there. We're going to do.
Well, could you clarify that group sales income? Do you mean Jana going on a FAM
No,
tour?
hosting a FAM tour.
Oh, okay, got it, thank you.
Yeah, we had planned on 2 last year, and we got so busy that didn't happen, so I'm not sure what her plan is for next year. Do you know?
For next year, we have not talked about it specifically this year. In November, there is one being discussed with some group leaders
Okay.
coming in.
So last year, we created the group sales position and promised ourselves that she'd have to prove that she pays her way, basically, generates enough to pay her salary. Can we officially say that's true?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, by just the amount of interest and enthusiasm we've had from calls wanting more information, requesting itineraries. We want you to kind of help us go around. It's been fairly aggressive. So I think that, again, optimistically, we see these things being important for us, but knowing full well that when you book something like, do something like this, your return on the investment may not happen for 2 years.
Right.
When you're trying to bring in, a club, a group, convention. So, we're on the foundation right now, but I think some of those things have been very, very encouraging.
It's another facet of marketing, so she's going to all these trade shows, and she's getting her name out there.
I know she seems very busy, but
Anecdotally, whenever I've seen groups, I'll stop and talk to them, welcome them to town. Hey, where are you in from? And whenever they have reached out to Jana, they've always had positive things to say. So I think from a representation lens, she's been absolutely outstanding according to our guests.
cool. Good news.
Quick, on interest, huh? Is that
Yes.
next?
Yes.
So
Interest, where are you at now?
Interest income 4030.
by end of August, we already had reached the budget. Is that correct?
Well, that's the August budget. Total
Right.
budget,
Oh,
75.
that was, the total budget was 75.
Right, so we're right on track for
So
this
we're-
year so
okay.
far. So I left it the same since we're on track.
All right, yes. So we're good. Well, unless we have a massive interest cut.
True, it could happen. Don't have a crystal ball.
Moving on.
Historical Museum.
If you got one of those, that would be
Wait.
helpful.
What's the website link? I mean, it's only,
Site link income?
Yeah, I didn't budget anything for that. It's if someone is not a collector, wants to be on our website, we charge them $750 to be on the website.
Oh. Do people know that's an option?
I don't know.
I wonder if that's something we could make more clear to folks.
I think we used to have that as an option for like the out-of-town, no CAPC tax collectors. Like there was Mike probably remembers that years ago, 10 years ago, we started having that option, but I don't know if ever was used.
So is that available for like shopkeepers and things as well? Like if you wanted to advertise your
Probably.
downtown store like Nelson's or something else, just for example?
Well, we kind of give retail right now, carte blanche.
Sure.
And we give those people the opportunity to be there at no charge. But for anybody that's outside the city limits,
Okay.
lodging property or a restaurant, which we haven't really had any restaurants ask us, but we've had other lodging properties, just because they see, what's going on. And so we have a nominal fee of $750, to have that appearance on the website.
Okay, moving on.
The Historical Museum, we're leaving that the same.
Real quickly, when Jeff was here last time, there was talk about like maybe supporting with signage or something that, because now it says there's a visitor center sign, but it's not very prominent. Is that something that we're still considering? And would that go into this line item or would it go into printing costs?
It would probably come out of a different line item, and it
Okay.
has not been included in anything yet.
Okay.
I agree, though. We need to stay on that. I think it's not prominent enough as a visitor center. I think most people who drive through town wouldn't realize that's a visitor center unless they just stopped and saw that tiny little sign there. Did the bang for a buck.
I do think that, I'm not saying we have to get into an in-depth discussion right now. This is, version 1 of a review. But I do think that we should have greater conversation around whether we want to support further with visibility for a visitor, like in a visitor center and what that looks like. I'm not saying full-on renovation. I don't mean to imply that. But just if we want to go down that road, we should be thinking about it.
Okay. Next.
The next are the other media placement line items. So we've increased those, the media buys, the media visits, and I did decrease the tourism outreach, but those others were increased because we're taking some more of the marketing in-house, so we increased those budgets for that.
Yeah.
Marketing support stayed at $100,000.
So,
On the next section is ad production. Like I said, we took Madden down from 1.2 to 750,000.
you want to talk about that?
Yeah. That's another sheet you have, and
One of the highlights.
yeah, this is it's just a top sheet. You'll see some yellow lines going through it. That represents right now 50% of the checks that we cut a month. So in the broad sense of where we are, with some of the in-house capabilities we already have, and we understand that we are going to have to go ahead and make an adjustment, with the agency. All the advertising you see for media this year was budgeted at $725,000. And we're on track to spend all that. What we're proposing for 2026 is to continue with Madden, but to drop that figure down to $500,000, that we will go ahead and take $100,000 of that back in-house. In public relations, we don't want to change that number because the PR has been so valuable for us. And that not only speaks to Eureka Springs, but also the Northwest Arkansas Tourism Association. The Voyage and Data Services, which basically is just audience measurement, because we have taken on AirDNA, we feel pretty confident that this is overlapping. And I think that we get more information right now out of AirDNA than we do from Voyage. We don't do much with Voyage. It's nice to be able to look at, but on the same token, we're unclear as to really how much of a benefit that has been. In terms of creative services, because we are cutting back, we've got so much creative in the can right now because of photography, because of video, because of our imaging, and even some of the ad work. We have a lot of stuff that probably hasn't even gone out completely yet, but we think we need to pare that back from $144,000 to $75,000. Web hosting, we're paying $45,000. We're going to go ahead and probably pull that and transfer that to an organization that we work with in Alabama. They host a couple of our things right now at much less. This will basically go ahead and give us the opportunity to work on almost all of the web in-house. We do it through WordPress now, which we converted over. And if you look at the next line, the web development and migration, that's basically what happened. We changed that from one particular type of proprietary software to WordPress. We can do that in-house now. And the web development migration has been completed when we went from .org to .com, and that was the complication of doing it at that time. In terms of account management and reporting, we meet sometimes 3 times a week. We think we can pare that back. to maybe once every other week or once a week. So from $75,000 a year to $50,000 a year. In media placement, and actually that should be media strategy and placement, we're spending $150,000 a year to do what I've done professionally all my life, my media. So we're going to pare that back to them, to have them work basically in the social media realm where they have better expertise, but in terms of up and down the street, that's what I do. And then email support and management, we started an email program with them this year. They created the template, but we also send out a newsletter. So there's a lot of duplication there that we felt really unnecessary, and we're basically approving all the content that they give us anyway, and sometimes we write all the content. So yeah, it's a big chunk, and it looks daunting in a way, but the realism is that we're still spending a lot of money with an agency. We're just not spending as much money, and I think that we're very capable of doing that internally, and we've had staff discussion about that. So.
Great. Questions?
Great question. So if I read it right, that's Madden, the first line, 725, what we said, right?
That's media.
That's media. Oh, that's not Madden alone. Well, so the 100,000 is part of the 500,000, right? So there's 400 and 100.
We're still spending 600,000.
Then my
500,000 would be brokered by Madden, and we'd go ahead and
okay,
do
but then my math is off.
Well,
So
2 times 50 is 100, 2 times 75 is 150, so 250. 500 and 250 is 750. If you say 600, then we should be at 850. Right?
I see what you're saying. Well, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but what we're going to do is we're still, just scratch the 100K to make you feel better.
Okay. Yeah,
Because the 100,000 already is up in the budget line item here under what we do with media buys under line 5026.
So Madden would get $500,000 to manage
Correct.
with,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And then the other thing what you explained are expenses which we were in control of. That money didn't go to Madden.
That's right.
That was just like you said, the software we don't really use that much, and etc.
Exactly.
So the web hosting, it goes to zero. We don't have to pay anything for web hosting anymore, or is that
We will,
another?
but it won't be anywhere like this. We're probably looking at maybe $1,000 a year.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Anything else? Moving on.
All right, next line item is photography and video production. We've increased that one again so we can do more in-house things. And we left the social and web at the same at 10,000. Next category is special events. Reduced the Folk Fest advertising a little bit. Promoter fee stays the same. We took the talent category down a little bit also. Festival of the Arts stayed the same at 35. We were talking about breaking out categories, line items for blues and New Year's Eve, just to make those clear on what we're doing. So we added 20 for blues and 30 for New Year's Eve. Christmas would be at 20.
Is that because New Year's Eve is now taken out? Or,
Is what?
What's there?
so,
We didn't have a budget last year for it, did we?
pardon me?
We didn't have a budget for it last year?
No.
Not
It
specific.
was included in, the Christmas one was called Holidays, and it was included in that, and it was not clear what it was. We decided to make it clearer and break it out to its own line on them.
Thank you.
Okay.
Music in the parks, we're talking about reducing that a little bit. Fireworks, I recommend going back down to the 7. And ESMA, that's just marketing. We give $5,000 for the marketing funds, and so that's just breaking out the 5 for them plus 5 for last year, trying to work. It was a confusion with the organization last year, and so it's a long story, but 5,000 of that is marketing that actually went for this year and 5 for next year. So the year after that, I'll go back to 5.
What do the Christmas events cover?
That is all of our Christmas decorations and stuff we do for downtown. If Danielle, you want to talk about
It gives some to the parade, don't we too? Give parade money?
Well, no, the chamber organizes the parade, but we team with the city in filling in the city decor for Christmas, for the holiday season. And so we are trying to rebuild the very old and aged decor. We cannot afford the budget at all, but with the city, we have been able to add a little bit more every year. And so things to create a tourist draw during the holidays and create experiences when they come to shop during that season, creating those spots, encouragement with the train station this year, getting involved with the happenings, and there's potential there. So there's a lot of support financially that is needed to budget that.
So the 20,000 that we reduced, you said that was a separate line item now?
Right. So last year we had 40 in holidays, and so we're reducing that to 20 just and calling it Christmas and breaking out the New Year's to 30.
Okay, so the extra 20 was New Year's. Okay. Well, for what it's worth, I hear a lot of people say that Eureka Springs could be more Christmassy. And so, I mean, I'm open to discussing increasing the budget for Christmas because that's something that you put up for at least a month after Thanksgiving. It's not just a week or a weekend, it's a full month of things, so.
Yeah.
Well, and I do really like that there's been an increase in holiday feels in the months that previously, in past, were really wintry mix, and now that's kind of shifted to like the February time frame. So especially as a lodging business myself, you know, like it used to be that we thought, Valentine's was going to be the big season starter, but lately that has not been the case.
Yeah.
And December has stayed good in weather, and people have more interest, I think, in continuing their travels.
We did apply, and they received it on Monday, a grant. We asked for $19,000 from the state of Arkansas, and for New Year's, just exclusively, and that would give us basically a lot of TV advertising that otherwise we wouldn't be able to go ahead and afford. We got the grant last year, and there's really a pretty good expectation we'll get it again. So,
I agree with Colton, and I agree with Shira for the holidays and like just that whole winter seasonal theme. And I love the idea of doing something with the train. What is that? The little kids one?
The
with
Polar
Express? The
Polar Express they do in Branson.
Hello. I'm all for it.
We are debuting the Eureka Express.
Oh my gosh.
this year.
Okay, for those at home or that may be listening on YouTube, Danielle just said that we are debuting the Eureka Express this year, like the Polar Express train.
And do we have a budget for that? Do we have money in here for that?
No, we're taking donations.
Are you going to be?
We're out of holiday budget this year.
Are you volunteering to flip down the aisles of the train with cocoa?
I have already spoken to little dancers in the area.
Oh, that's so great.
To come, we're going to do story time with Santa, and a local dance studio is going to provide and volunteer dancers to be present during that time.
Fun.
We're looking for volunteer groups. We need 2 or 3 volunteer groups that want to host and serve cocoa and cookies during that time. And they can do like we do manning the parking lot. They can do a suggested donation or tips as they host and just help people on the train. We have a conductor that's going to volunteer his time to be the conductor for the Eureka Express, welcoming them. And so, but we've got
Fantastic.
a community member that's going to help decorate The train depot, the
Cute.
porch area, and that's what we need decoration donations for.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right.
I guess I need to watch this movie.
I've never seen it, but
I've never heard of it.
But it's like huge. Oh no, I just outed myself. It's like huge, but I know about it. It's like Tom Hanks.
Polar Express.
You
Tom
have,
Hanks.
you have a
Tom
movie to
Hanks.
watch.
It's huge. I don't really watch a lot of.
Moving on.
Well, real quick, I think if we're reducing the budget, if we're reducing the marketing budget by 400,000, I think it's worth adding budget to events. If we're going to market less, then we need to have either more events to market or more things to market with less. So I would be, I mean, we don't have to discuss it right now, but I would definitely be open to increasing budget for Christmas. Again, that's a whole month of events that we're only giving $20,000 to.
Yeah, but I don't want to be the Grinch, but that
So then don't.
I mean, the return on investment, during the winter time is very little.
But how do we know that? If
It's
we have-
joy. It's joy, Richard. Joy.
The thing is, like in the summertime, that's when the thousands of people are coming.
Right.
In the wintertime, it's just by nature, less people are coming. So,
Well, is it by nature or because we don't have
we
things
can
to
change
change?
that.
It's because we haven't positioned
Yeah.
ourselves. You think about all those Hallmark films, like, I'm sorry because I don't watch
There are
them
plenty of
either.
people that love
I
them.
truly don't, but I constantly see it on social. Oh, I want to find that Hallmark
Exactly.
town.
yeah, but
Well, and
you
again,
know,
the weather is
for the
changing.
holidays.
I think this is a whole workshop.
In the Hallmark movies, the people will still drive when it's snowing.
Right.
In Arkansas, they don't. As soon as there's this little snow on the road, people will stay home. So that's the thing. I
That's
mean,
the
like,
reality,
I don't want to be the Grinch, but it's kind of like we have to kind of be careful how much money we spend in a month when it's really already slow. I mean, we have to do something to kind of keep it going. But to me, it's like,
I mean, if we're spending $30,000 on one night at New Year's, I think we could spend a little more across the entire month. Of just,
well, but the thing is,
I think this is a workshop topic for budget. And, for the overall process, I'm making a wish list here, what we want to go back and talk about. So let's put Christmas down. And because if we put more in Christmas, we got to go back and take it out somewhere
of course.
else. So is that okay? We just kind of make a list and say, let's go through it.
I do
And then
like
maybe
it.
a separate workshop, we'll come back and talk about some specifics or something. We have time, right?
We do.
Okay.
I do like things like the Polar Express train idea, though, because it reaches people of all different, it's not necessarily Christmas. It doesn't, lots of people like trains. It doesn't matter what
inclusive.
religion you subscribe to. Trains and cocoa feel good to anybody in the winter months. So I just wanted to say, because often I feel like we miss the fact that that one of the things we embrace here are the differences of people. And I think that taglining everything as Christmas sometimes leaves out the fact that not everybody is celebrating Christmas. It welcomes more.
Holidays, winter. Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't
Could
trying
I?
to
I'm sorry.
hang up
Could I
on
just
it.
ask a quick question
I hear
about
you.
fireworks? Why a 30% reduction in fireworks?
Historically, it's been at 7.
Okay.
Sam talked us into raising it to 10 last year, and I thought we might take it back to 7.
Yeah, Sam's pretty good at that.
Have to watch him.
Well,
Okay.
we have also, does that cover, is that just fireworks or is that the music that we book?
Just fireworks.
Thank you.
Moving on.
All right, group sales is next. Wedding shows, we increased that. I think Jana wants to go to 5 wedding shows next year. Postage and shipping, that's where we ship some of our booth supplies, so we needed a little bit more in there. Other expenses, we just increased it a little bit, just for extra stuff. Hospitality training, planning on doing that again next year.
What's that consist of? Is it?
You want to address hospitality training?
We felt as if the community needs to benefit a little bit from just pure understanding of what hospitality is all about. Frontline workers that engage with people when they walk through the door, they're greeted, how that it works. And this past year was a really good opportunity for quite a few people to come into this training session. And we brought in a professor from Central Arkansas that specializes in that in complement with the Arkansas Hospitality Association. And, you know, for 2 days, they got really a pretty good drill, if you will, about just the best ways to go ahead and be, I think, literally hospitable. And I think it's a valuable training lesson. You know, we have a lot of people that sometimes are entered into the workforce that, you know, really haven't been exposed to hospitality training, and even sometimes owners of businesses that need a little brush up. You know, you get a little tired on that 7th day and you're going, wow, what can I do? And that person comes in and, well, you understand. But it worked out pretty well, and we felt like this is a good augmentation of what the A&P does anyway. And that's to be basically marketing your business on an individual basis.
Sure.
I attended it, and it was fantastic. One of the benefits also, I think, to add to what you were saying, is it's a great networking opportunity and an opportunity for those of us in hospitality to go to. There were some stops at different places. For example, my business has been, we have owned it since 2019, and we had a pandemic, you know, 8 months into our moving here, so we didn't get to encounter a lot of experiences that we are advertising to our guests. So we got to go to Turpentine Creek, we got to go to Keels Creek Winery. We don't have a lot of time to do some of those things, and so we got to see some of the inner workings of what goes on at different area things. So that was a real advantage, and get closer to some of those folks. So, you know, even if you are great with hospitality, it is an organized reason for folks to get together. It also, I think, is another way to push the CAPC amongst its collectors and say, be involved, come to the meetings if you have something to say, because we're also offering you education opportunities.
Great.
It's March 4th and 5th of 2026 is the date for next year.
And I wish we would have even more opportunities, things like, you know, working tools like MailChimp and what the things that could enhance people's skills would be wonderful.
Next. Sorry, Robert.
Sorry. On the current situation, so the group sales, we are about 30% below the budget in the expenses. What are the projections for this year? I mean, we're coming closer to the end of the season. Are we going to spend the rest of the budget this year, or are we going to be below the budget for this year? Do we have any information on that?
I think we're going to be below budget.
So my cynical question would be, so we're increasing the group sales for next year, but we can't even reach it this year.
Well, she wants to schedule more trade shows.
I could see that with the travel registration, yes. So do we need the other? I mean, there's some. Okay, the other increases are small. Where do I miss it? I guess that's the wedding shows, and that there's an increase there, right?
I mean, this is kind of an ideal thing that she wants to do, so we can, you know, say we don't want you to go to that many shows, and we can reduce it. Or
No, if there are more trade shows, why is the travel budget smaller?
well, if you look at the actual to budget for this year, it's lower than what was budgeted, so it's actually more than what was actually spent.
Okay.
And I mean, like you see, like the familiarity tours.
Mm-hmm.
We have budgeted 5,000, and we have not used a penny for it. And then we're doubling for we're using the same budget.
Right. Well, like Danielle said, I think we're going to do one this fall,
We have one in November.
and then but she wants to shoot for 2 next year. So
that-
she thought she was going to do 2, but I think we're only going to do 1. So, but she wants to do 2 next year.
So you do like one in the spring, one in the fall or something, and it would be 5,000 each.
Right.
Correct. And we're don't want to speak specifically, but we have a Eureka-focused things that she and I have traveled to some travel shows, and we've finally learned, like, we have our own resources, and we could do it very Eureka specific. And so that is where we're turning our attention in 2026 to do a more Eureka specific, Eureka vendors, on display type of trade show, more to come, but that's what's in the works.
So am I understanding you correctly? Kind of what you're saying is since Jenna was newer and you've gone to these trade shows, you've learned sort of some new ways to pivot and make it stronger going forward in 26.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the conversations was, for instance, in wedding shows, we produce a wedding show.
Cool. I like it.
Okay.
Are we good with group tours, or you want to keep?
Thank you.
Okay. Auditorium.
Yay.
Oh, boy.
The most fun.
Madonna, Chapel
skip
Run.
that?
We good.
We took the renovation and upgrade down a little bit. I mean, there's so much that needs to be done. Where do you stop? So we just, right now, I think that's kind of earmarked for the redo the bathroom and the green upstairs on the stage. So,
Well, Mike called me the other day, concerned about the budget for the auditorium, shall I say. So I listened to him talk and validated his feelings as a former therapist does.
I did get Michael to sign off on the hydraulic inspection of the elevator. So we did
apparently
score,
on the
we scored some big points there.
Yeah.
Several $1,000s. So.
I know sometimes it's so frustrating to think that so much of our budget gets eaten up with this building that we maintain.
Yeah.
And so much of it is unpredictable, as Ty is saying too. What's going to happen, what's going to fall apart. But we're the stewards of this building, and maintaining it is a big part of the CAPC. And we're identified in town as that as well. So I don't think we could just say we're not going to do it anymore and move out. But
Is this building on the National Register of Historic Places?
Yes.
So could we apply for improvement grants?
Well, in 2004, the building was redone, at least the theater upstairs was. The chairs reupholstered, it was realigned. There was a tremendous amount of work that went on in that grant. Consequently, that also handcuffed some of the expansion of things that you could and could not do. And that is a little bit of an issue. For instance, we can't re-rate the theater's floor. We can't do that. But if you haven't been in the green room bathroom, you need to go.
Oh,
and find out what it's like.
Trust your word.
Find out why the door jam's only 5'10".
Oh.
Find out why you can't get up off the seat once you sit down because it's so low.
Take your word
it's a
for
Halloween
it.
destination.
Anyway, we do have a few things that need to be reworked, and that's really one of the things that need to happen. But
We should just build a new convention center.
yeah.
Well, I guess, I mean, a big number jump, of course, is that line with the event talent, from 40 to 150. That increases the whole auditorium operations budget from 318 to 465. I mean, that is, I mean, that's the one connected with the events.
Right. Everything else is pretty.
I mean, everything
stays
else
pretty
looks
much
stable.
the same, except for those line items we increased because we're going to try to do our own shows.
Right. I mean, when it comes to the expenses for the auditorium, I'm always vocal about it, that the city should pay their part since they own this building, and we don't own it. I know this is an old story, but the city just doesn't pay a penny to this building, and it's all the burden on us. And I think that's just simply wrong. The city should pay at least something to the maintenance of that building.
They don't have
or
a budget.
especially, I would say, if we have to pay the utility bill because we use it, so be it. But the city is having all the commission meetings here, the council meeting here, and when there are major repairs, we should not be always the one who pay for it. The building is still the city's building and not ours.
And we're a city commission. So I'd like at the end of the year to see a number, Ty, if you could pull it together to say how much does CAP have to put into the pile to keep this building going.
I do.
If we weren't here.
Sorry.
If we weren't here and had our own offices somewhere, what's the difference for us to say? Because I want to at least get credit for that number, saying that, look at what we do. We do maintain this building. And I want to remind ourselves, during the Save the CAPC rally last year, one of our big selling points was this building would not be open without the CAPC
That's right.
operating it. So
It's a double-edged sword, and if you recall being at the quarter shops when we were there for quite a while, we had a conference room. If we were all there right now, we would be like this. People would be standing waiting to get in, but the official meetings would be at the courthouse. We'd all be like this, people standing waiting to get in. And it was very, very difficult to have any kind of conventional, decent meeting space. This isn't, posh by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a heck of a lot better than where we were.
Yeah.
And in terms of wanting to move offices right now, if we move the offices, then we lose what I call the mojo of keeping this building going. And I think that's very important. So, Robert, I don't disagree, and I get frustrated with this, and as Steve indicated a few minutes ago, I kind of bent Steve's ear the other day about my frustration. On the same token, this is a situation that does bear its own official meeting with city officials to determine really what has to happen, because we can't mitigate it tonight.
Let's bookmark that. I'd like to do that. I know they'd love to hear from me.
Sure. You're one of my favorites.
I do have a question. Line 6057, and I'm going to bring this up, so if you want to talk about all of payroll at one time, let me know, but I'm noticing that there's a 12.5% reduction in front house payroll from 16,000 to 18,000, but we're saying we're going to go bigger. On top of the fact that, are we considering like COLA raises and, I feel very strongly about fair pay. And so to see numbers on this report go backwards when it comes to payroll, it sent me into a little bit of a tizzy, if I'm being quite honest. So I'm just wondering why payroll numbers are reduced.
Aren't they increasing, or am I?
It's going up.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong one.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You jumped ahead on
I jumped ahead because I'm that passionate about it. I apologize, Ty.
That actually might still be a little low. It's kind of where I ended up, but it might be low. We weren't, yeah.
But it is low. I do think it's very low.
It might be.
So we're going to mark that as something to look at?
Yeah, I'd like to mark that. I understand, and I want to be very clear that this is Eureka Springs, but I also understand that cost of living, regardless of the fact it's Eureka Springs, are going up, and we should try to do what we can to make sure that anyone who works here is compensated as best as we can.
So I think maybe our next workshop next month will be budget again, to look at any kind of things we want to come back. I don't want to rush this process. This is something we're stuck with once we decide and vote on it and city council gets it. So make any notes of anything you want to change or talk about in more depth for our next workshop next month, okay?
Which item are we on?
6057 was what we were discussing.
Under auditorium.
But
Does anyone want to talk about any of the other auditorium lines?
I do. I have one question about 6093. Why such a big increase in utilities?
It's just what it is.
Just how they're increasing.
Sorry, what?
It's just what it is. I mean, electricity's gone up, water's gone up.
yeah, they just.
And it will continue to go up.
It will go up more.
Thanks, David.
We do have a serious leak under the building here that the city won't fix. And we also were stuck with a magnitude of high electrical bills because the heat strips from our heat pumps out here ran continuously when they were not able to go ahead and heat the building. So the electric bills went up to $12,000, $13,000 a month. That's the reason that this number is where it is.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that about the water leak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? But Wait, there's a water leak in a city-owned building, but the city won't fix it.
No.
That's the city, yeah.
We can hire a plumber.
Well, expect an email.
Well, let's put it into context. It's been leaking for a while, and how much it's leaking is only because we realize that about every month our water bill goes up another $100, but there's not that many people flushing. So I guarantee you, we drink coffee, but not that much. So, and not only that, the water comes out of the Culligan water bottle.
Unaddressed, can this be detrimental to the building?
Yeah, do we know where it is, the leak?
It's under the building. It requires literally going underground
Yeah.
and then coming up.
It's a huge, huge process. It's a tunnel under several buildings. Been there for probably since you were born, Heather.
Have we had scopes?
Since 1929.
It's a huge undertaking.
It's since 1929. This building was
Yeah.
opened 1929.
Yeah.
It was important now.
Have we had plumbers scope to
So
see
did
where
Simon
those?
find the leak, did you say? Simon found the leak.
Yeah.
So we know where the leak is? So
Do you have a cost on how much it's going to fix?
No, and the two things that came up was, number one, we would have to go ahead and hire a plumber, or the city would hire the plumber. They would have to go ahead and cordon the area off with fire safety because of the fact that there's a tunnel and you're underneath there, things could go bad. And I have no idea what it would take to fix it. No estimate. I'm only going to guess it's just, $5,000, $10,000. I have no idea.
So I was going to ask Simon at the city council meeting, but he wasn't there this Monday, so
Sean was there probably, so he didn't know. So Sean doesn't know.
I wouldn't dump that on somebody besides Simon. So next council meeting, I'll ask, why is that a policy that the city can't fix its own plumbing? So
Well, especially if it's getting, you said it's going up continually each month. Okay, so it's getting bigger, which
Getting
means
worse.
that eventually it's going to burst, right? It's going to have a bigger issue.
Something could happen.
well, and if
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah,
else,
the
why aren't we getting
water-
quotes?
As you well know, devastates.
Yeah.
And it will,
will.
eventually it will break.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
And
They
then
won't get the
the only
plumbers.
Or
result
shift
at
if
that
it's
point is to
underneath,
turn the
shifting
water
the
off.
foundation. Yeah.
So my question would be, how do we tackle this problem? So if we obviously have to talk, I guess, to the mayor, should we have a workshop with the mayor, invite the mayor and, I don't know, city council members, or keep it open, whoever wants to show up, and discuss the situation of the auditorium? Or,
Yes.
I mean, I'm frustrated in that part. I mean, this is a endless story, and we're just paying and paying and paying. The city is just not doing anything. It's like, it's your problem. And I know, like, we don't want to give up this building. I mean, on one point, because it's a valuable entertainment place, but on the other side, it's like, you know what? Maybe we should just go to the Best Western and rent the convention center from time to time and have our events out there. They have a stage, or we find another place. I mean, we could even go and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we can rent the Opera in the Ozark. They have 300 seats, very nice. Everything is brand new, and renting it, even if we rent it 8 times, it probably will be cheaper than paying for the auditorium. You know what I mean? Like, how do we approach this problem with the city? What are the steps we can take to come to a conclusion? And even if, let's say, worst case scenario, we have to swallow it and keep going, but we talk in circles, like, what is the best approach?
Let me do this. Let me go ahead and address this with the mayor. He's been out for a couple of days, and I had intended to talk with him anyway about the elevator situation, and Michael very nicely took care of that for me. But the rest of it does need to be discussed, and I actually have kind of a little short list of things that we need to take care of. So let me do that and report back to you.
Okay.
And I will say, Mike, if for some reason you're stalled in your discussion, let me or Steve know so that we can bring it up to the entire council.
Sure.
Because that's the final say.
I am going to ask Simon why we
Yeah.
don't fix our own plumbing.
Yeah.
So.
I will say that this summer has been the best AC, HVAC summer that we have had.
We're going to jinx this.
We
Next
mean
week
with the
it'll be the
least
90s,
problems.
so.
But winter is coming, and those heat strips are expensive.
Well, and the almanac says it's going to be a bad winter, so.
All right, moving on to budget.
A quick question, Ty, for the $44,000 payment to the city could you please remind us when the last payment will take place? Is 2026 the last payment?
Yes.
27?
No, 26, right?
No, it was 4 years.
Well, we just made our third payment.
So then the 26 will be done? Okay.
I believe so. I
I
mean,
thought
that's
it was pretty close.
the city invoiced us for a third payment. I need to double check on that just to make sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next, moving on to auditorium operations.
Can you, I'm not sure what the loan payment is for that. Can you, because I'm new to the commission, what's the loan payment to the city?
You want to do that one?
Yeah, well, you see the elevator here?
Yeah.
That's part of it. The reno of this downstairs, so it could become a meeting
So
place.
it's a renovation loan.
Yeah, exactly. We bore the cost of it, and then the bad news was there was $92,000 in changes. So we had to pick that up. I don't know that we made the changes, but somebody did.
Yeah.
But, part of that was ADA compliance, and we just had to do that. So people could be able to come to these meetings and get downstairs and then be able to sit in on the meetings we have. So.
Well, I won't belabor the point, but that definitely sounds like a building owner issue if it's ADA compliance.
It's
We do not disagree, Colton.
All right, moving on for budget. Bit like a talking head
we
up
also
here.
have hearing aids, just so you'll know, for people.
Which nobody uses.
Yeah, they do. They do for city council meetings.
Yeah.
Harry Meyer has to use one, or needs to use one, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay, admin offices.
You have a hand up, Steve.
I'm sorry, Heather.
Yeah, I'm skipping ahead to 6050,
6050.
which
Admin
is
staff.
payroll.
Yes.
We do not have to decision this now, but if we are not having a reduction in staff, I do not understand why we are having a reduction in payroll.
That is actually the exact same payroll without the bonus budgeted in.
Got the bonus.
We budgeted a bonus this year, so this is actually the exact same payroll without a budgeted bonus.
Without what?
Budgeting a bonus.
Without bonuses.
For 26.
But what about raises?
It's exactly the same as this year, except without the bonus because
But-
the budget.
Put raises on your list.
Okay, yeah, we got to talk about that because annual raises is,
Yeah, that's something we should talk about in the next workshop.
okay.
And anything else? Admin office stuff?
Everything else has stayed.
Why did you jump in computer software?
Yeah. It's actually much more than, we didn't budget the right amount last year, basically.
Is that the Air DNA, the Air DNA?
It's AirDNA, it's QuickBooks, it's all things computer related, and we just didn't budget enough last year.
But the Air DNA alone would be 10 grand,
Why is he keeping it?
right?
I'm taking it.
Where would you have that?
It's,
Infestation.
I actually didn't budget the renewal of it. I had it ending in June.
Because I'm getting older.
That's right. We budgeted for June. And we were going to evaluate it as determining whether we wanted to go ahead and continue the service after June when we got to the end of that month.
Anything else?
Well, then there's $10,000 missing. Where do we compensate that from?
What 10?
I mean, like, I think, let's go back. You know, like Mike said, the voyage and data service, we're going to save that, right? We're not going to renew that for next year. So, because we're going to use the AirDNA.
Right.
But we have not budgeted the AirDNA in here. Or do I miss something?
Well, you've got it through the end of June. So you're looking basically at January. You're looking at 6 months of that, which is $6,000.
Yeah, but for the 2026, you know, it's 9,600 just for computer expense. So that should be the whole year. Or is it? I mean, we're paid till then?
We're paying through the end of June,
Oh, okay, so, yeah, I got it.
6 months,
Sorry.
and it's $900 a month.
Right, that's the difference. Yeah, I get it.
$54.
Okay, sorry.
Will
I
we
thought
just-
we have to pay the whole year.
Will we decide then to renew it or not? Is that the plan? Or?
When we get there, I think that, we're still, I'll tell you this, we're still enjoying the ride with it because it keeps giving us more information that, we're finding somewhat useful. And, again, for me, just to be able to look at, occupancy pacing as to where it's going is at least the cause for saying, hey, things are not terrible,
Right.
but yet they are up percentage-wise. And when we have two of those categories, which doesn't count the short-term rentals and hotels, we are getting a good representation from Airbnbs and VRBOs. So
Good.
that also helps us track the amount of money that we are receiving, particularly from VRBO.
If that wears off, we'll change our mind. So.
Optimistically, if you take a look at basically lodging collections, we'd like to see that number grow just because of increased tax revenue that comes in. And we really haven't been able to pace that yet because we've only been able to start getting VRBO and Booking.com recently. So we don't have a history right now to really suggest what those numbers are going to be.
Thank you.
And the only other one in admin that changed much is for the park support. We had budgeted 44 for the Basin Park and 10 for maps, and so we're taking that back down to 10 for maps.
Where's that at?
Last line, 7,000.
Very end of it. Park and Rec?
Yeah.
That's our whole total we give the Parks Department?
Well, this year was higher because we helped with Basin Park, so next year, taking it back just to the 10 for the trail maps.
I know at the Parks Commission I watched a couple months ago, they talked about starting to charge for use of the Basin Park. I don't know if that discussion has gone anywhere else, but if they do, we'd almost have to adjust our budget to, if they start charging us to put the music on the park, so we'll see.
I mean, we paid
would be
for it, so I don't
interesting.
think we should pay.
But,
I think it's part of ours, huh?
right.
That would be an interesting
I don't think
choice.
it's going to go anywhere, and I think commission members with parks know that they need to tread lightly on charging for Basin Park.
I mean, isn't the park still having a part of the sales tax?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, that's their funding pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I agree with David. I don't think it's going to go very far, but we'll just keep an eye on that, make sure.
But, right.
If it does come through, then we just take the number
Right?
and I mean, they're,
4,000 and just start, okay,
You owe it.
it's $1,000 for this
Right.
weekend, $1,000 for that weekend, out of the
Is it,
54,000.
they get 0.25%?
Oh, don't ask me off the top
It's
of my
either-
head.
yeah, but and
There's so many of them.
They're investing a lot of money into their facilities out there to actually compete with lodgings within the city limit here. So it's like, yeah, we're kind of, isn't that, so the city is competing with local businesses.
Don't forget, their commission's sitting there looking at their budget, just like we are, going, how do we make money? How do we save money? Let's allocate
understand.
something. And just a general comment was they didn't feel like they're getting enough for the use of the park. So they're just kicking around that idea. Hopefully it won't go anywhere. But we'll
Mike,
deal
do
with
they,
it.
do they pay the tax? The 3% for CAPC?
For the lodging?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
So we're at the end of the budget, right?
We are.
I know we've passed a lot of the positions, but what do you think about with our marketing support? Yeah, we raised it last time to 100,000 from 75, right? Was it originally? Do we want to go back to this 100,000, or should we just, because we kind of overspent this year, this is part of the overspending from this year in our budget, should we not bring back the marketing support back to the 75?
I think that I think we're in a good place at 100,000. And, let's look at it this way. When we grant these funds out, what we're expecting is a pretty significant return on the investment. We graded some marketing support fund requests just recently, And I was really pleased to see really the potential tax revenue, which was in both instances was much more than they were actually asking for. So I think when we look at it from the standpoint that they're bringing visitation into Eureka, with these events, and that's really what it was created to do. And the more we can, I don't want to use the word clamp down, but the more we can expect out of those support fund requests, I think that it's going to pay off in the long run.
I understand that we increased the requirements, or we strengthened the requirements with the new marketing fund requirements, and so maybe that will have some results anyway.
The requirements haven't changed that much, but what has happened and what's changed is just the amount of time spent in doing that proposal to make sure that what we're saying and what we're asking for is going to be beneficial to us. We asked the state for $19,000, and I had to basically say, this is what we are going to do for the state of Arkansas in order to go ahead and get that money. And it wasn't just Eureka Springs, but how is this going to benefit the people in Little Rock or Fort Smith or Pine Bluff? What is it going to do to drive tourism into the region? And that's important. So it's a matter of being smart with your marketing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're into the budget. I think phase 2 has come back with our wish list to talk about adjustments. Please look over the budget on your own. Think of anything you want to adjust. If you want to add more money to something, we have to take money away from somewhere else. I think we're very committed to doing a balanced budget, and even that is kind of scary considering what the future may hold next year. We don't know. I'd like to thank Ty and Mike and Danielle for all the hard work in this. I know it looks pretty easy, just 3 pages here, but that's every line on this was something that they worked on. So
it's very hard.
Appreciate it very much. If somebody has anything else?
The only thing I want to quickly say is I was really pleased to see such a drastic Madden reduction, and I think the community will actually be really pleased too. I have a major Fortune 100 client, and they have an entire in-house marketing team, all the support in the world, and their budget is lower than this, but that's with tons of employees. So I think that this is a reflection on the good work that this team is doing with I know on the surface $2 million sounds like a lot, but it's not. And I just feel like we can't stress enough how much you all are doing. Thank you. And I hope that the community is, I think that the sentiment is really good, not the cement. And just thank you. This is awesome.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you in 2 weeks on the 24th at 5 p.m. for our regular meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.